The money didn't disappear. It was spent. And once it was spent, it was gone. In October 2021, Mark Zuckerberg renamed Facebook to Meta. Not a logo change, a directional change. He was saying the next platform shift won't be another app. It will be a new environment, and Meta will build it. On paper, the move was rational. Facebook's core product was maturing. TikTok was stealing attention. Apple's privacy changes were squeezing ad targeting. Growth was getting harder and more expensive. If you're a founder who thinks in decades, you don't just defend the old kingdom, you try to own the next one. So Zuckerberg did what very few CEOs can do. He redirected a money printing machine toward a future that didn't exist yet. Reality Labs became the engine of that future. VR headsets, mixed reality, and a social world Meta hoped would feel like the next internet. Meta had already bought Oculus back in 2014 for around $2 billion, but now the spending escalated into a full-scale moonshot. And then the bill arrived. Reality Labs started reporting operating losses measured in billions, quarter after quarter. In late 2024 alone, the division lost about $5 billion from operations in a single quarter. By the end of 2024, Reality Labs had accumulated roughly $69 billion in cumulative losses since the Metaverse pivot, nearly $70 billion spent without a clear payoff timeline. In 2024, Reality Labs brought in about $2.1 billion in revenue, tiny next to the losses. At the same time, the public product struggled to match the scale of the promise. Meta's flagship social VR world, Horizon, became a symbol of the gap between vision and reality, widely criticized for looking unfinished and failing to convince people to live there. That number matters, but it's not the whole story, because markets don't just punish losses, they punish uncertainty. In early 2022, Meta told investors its outlook had weakened, citing tougher competition and the impact of Apple's privacy changes. The stock collapsed in a single day, one of the biggest one-day drops in market value in U.S. history. That day alone erased roughly $250 billion in market value, more than the annual output of many countries. And as the Metaverse costs kept rising, investors started asking the only question that matters: when does this turn into profit? Meta couldn't give a satisfying answer, not because the team wasn't working, but because the product wasn't ready and the world wasn't waiting. So the company got trapped in the most dangerous zone in business: too early to harvest returns, too committed to stop. This is the sunk cost trap at industrial scale. When you've already spent tens of billions, stopping feels like admitting you were wrong. Continuing feels like staying the course. But sunk costs don't care about pride. They only care about one thing: what you do next. And that's where $100 billion gone becomes more than a headline. Not because there's a single $100 billion receipt, but because this is what $100 billion mistake looks like in real life. Years of capital allocation that can't be unspent, opportunity cost you can't rewind, and credibility that erodes every quarter you ask for patience. What makes this story evergreen is that Zuckerberg didn't act like a villain. He acted like a builder. He believed that if you invest early enough and long enough, you can bend the future toward you. That's the same logic that built Facebook in the first place. But the same logic has a hidden trap. When conviction becomes your moat, you stop hearing the signal that the environment has changed. By 2023, Meta's tone shifted. Zuckerberg called it the year of efficiency, a public reset toward discipline, profitability, and focus. Even so, Reality Labs kept losing billions, and Meta continued reorganizing the division to streamline it. And yet, Zuckerberg still frames the metaverse as a long game. Going into 2025, he called it a pivotal year, betting that improvements in hardware and experiences will finally make the vision feel inevitable. That's the real lesson, because the most dangerous decisions aren't the reckless ones. They're the ones that sound rational, feel strategic, and keep you protected today, while quietly draining your future. If you're building anything, a business, a career, a life, remember the difference between ambition and obsession. Ambition listens, obsession doubles down. If you want more stories about rational decisions that quietly changed everything, subscribe.